Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, heart racing, just because a certain someone popped into your mind, someone who disappeared without a trace? They're not texting, not calling, and yet their image keeps looping in your head like an old film on repeat. Strangely enough, the quieter they are, the louder they echo in your mind. So, what's really going on? Could they be thinking about you too? Or is this just your brain trapped in a psychological loop you haven't even noticed yet? Welcome to this journey where we dive deep into the hidden psychology behind why someone keeps appearing in your thoughts and whether the wisdom of the ancient Stoics can finally bring you peace. Stick with me, because the answer isn't what you expect. In fact, the truth might shake you a little. Have you ever noticed something strange? The less someone reaches out to you, the more they seem to dominate your thoughts. The silence they leave behind, it often speaks louder than words. And this is where psychology quietly steps in. Your brain hates unresolved things. It's wired to seek closure, to complete unfinished stories. So when someone exits your life suddenly, be it a breakup, ghosting, or just growing distant, your subconscious hits panic mode. It starts replaying memories like scenes from an old movie. Was it something I said? Was it that late night text at 1 a.m.? What exactly did I do wrong? At this point, your brain becomes a full blown emotional detective, digging through moments, searching for clues, desperately trying to understand what went wrong. Psychologists even have a name for this phenomenon: the Zygarnik effect, a concept that shows people tend to remember unfinished tasks more than completed ones. And in relationships, those unresolved emotions become mental clutter, like having dozens of browser tabs open in your head that never stop refreshing. Every time you try to move on, those tabs reload themselves. But long before science named it, the Stoic philosophers already understood this human pattern. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." So, what does this mean for you? Constantly thinking about someone doesn't always mean love or some deep intuition. It could simply be your brain trying to complete a story, one the other person left unfinished. And now comes the million-dollar question. If you can't stop thinking about them, does that mean they're thinking about you too? Or are you just lost in your own never-ending narrative? Stick around, because in the next part, we're going to uncover something that might completely flip your understanding of this emotional maze. Previously, we were left with a haunting question. Are you truly connected to her, or just stuck in a story that refuses to end? Now we enter a space where science meets the soul, where emotion is decoded through both neuroscience and ancient wisdom. Think about it. Every time you laughed with someone, shared a deep conversation, held them close, or even broke down in tears, your brain didn't just store the memory. It encoded it using dopamine, the same neurochemical responsible for pleasure and reward. That's why a certain cologne, a familiar cafe, or a song playing on the radio can instantly pull her back into your mental space like a memory crashing through the present moment. It's not just nostalgia, it's neurological programming. And yes, thank you, Spotify. I open the app to relax, not to spiral into an emotional breakdown over lo-fi beats and the memory of her laughing in the passenger seat. But this is where Stoicism cuts through the emotional haze like a blade. It doesn't ask, do you still love her? It asks, are you really thinking about her, or are you attached to the feeling she once gave you? That's a massive difference, because most of the time you're not chasing her. You're chasing the version of yourself that felt whole, alive, wanted when she was around. That version of you felt electric, powerful, like parts of you only came alive in her presence. And now you're trying to find your way back to that emotional high, not realizing you've confused a chemical memory for true connection. But here's where things get even more curious, maybe even a little spooky. Some studies suggest that deep emotional focus can generate what's called energetic feedback. In simple terms, when you intensely think about someone, emotionally and mentally, they may actually feel it on some subtle, unconscious level. Yes, she might be thinking about you too, but not because of fate or some cosmic string pulling at both of your hearts. It could simply be the echo of unresolved emotion bouncing back and forth between two unhealed souls. So we're left asking, is this real connection or just mutual confusion disguised as destiny? Stay with me because what's coming next may be the wake up call you didn't know you needed. From obsession to emotional mastery, it's time to pull back the curtain. Instead of asking, why can't I stop thinking about her? Try asking, why am I still giving her so much power over my mind? This is where Stoicism truly steps into the light, not to tell you what to feel, but to teach you how to command what you feel. Epictetus, a man who once lived as a slave before becoming a philosopher, said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things beyond our control." And here comes the truth you might not want to hear. If she's constantly on your mind, it's not because she's magical. It's because your inner world lacks discipline and your emotional boundaries are bleeding into fantasy. Let's be honest. Would you let someone sneak into your apartment every night, rummage through your fridge, and leave? If that sounds outrageous in the physical world, then why allow it to happen in your inner world? In the next part, we'll explore how to rebuild emotional boundaries and turn your mind into a space where no one enters without permission. In the last part, we uncovered a hard truth. You're not always obsessed with her. You're chasing the version of yourself that felt alive when she was around. So why let her live in your mind rent free? Stoic philosophy doesn't ask you to be cold or emotionally numb. It simply teaches you this: choose where your energy goes. Your thoughts are tools, not tyrants. That obsession you feel, it's not proof of love. It's the symptom of unfinished healing. And healing starts the moment you stop seeking validation in someone else's silence. Now, let's go even deeper. Maybe you're not just stuck on her. Maybe you're addicted to who you were when she was around. That version of you who felt seen, wanted, magnetic. But now that she's gone, it's like you've become a stranger to your own confidence. But what if that version of you was never actually hers to awaken? What if it's always been yours, just waiting for you to reclaim it? This is the Stoic shift. Master your mind or be mastered by it. The choice is painfully simple, but never easy. So now comes the real question. Are you strong enough to take back the wheel, or will you keep chasing ghosts of someone who's already gone? Because what we're about to explore next just might be the answer you've been avoiding. Does she think about you too? This is the cliffhanger, right? The question lingering in your head. Is she thinking about you too? Here's the truth. Maybe. But honestly, it doesn't matter. Why not? Because thinking about someone is not love. It's not presence. It's not commitment. It's just a thought. Sometimes it's memory. Sometimes it's habit, your brain firing on old emotional circuits. And sometimes it's simply your biology missing the chemical high. But real love shows up. It doesn't hide in silence. It doesn't live in your mind. It acts, it builds, it heals. The Stoics knew this. They taught that love isn't found in longing, it's found in action, grounded in values, clarity, courage, and consistency. So here's the harsh but freeing truth. If she thinks about you but does nothing, you're not her present. You're just her past, not her priority, just a passing thought. Let that sink in. You're not Wi-Fi. You don't need to be connected to feel valuable. Peace doesn't come from knowing if she thinks about you. It comes from asking yourself a deeper question. Why am I still thinking about her? Because the goal is not to live in someone else's mind, it's to master your own. So stop chasing closure in silence. Start building a mind too focused on growth to be haunted by ghosts. If any of this stirred something in you, if you're tired of overthinking, waiting, and wondering, maybe it's time to let go. Not of the memory, but of the mental chains that memory left behind. Let Stoicism be your compass. Train your mind like a warrior. Detach from what you can't control. Reclaim the energy you've been spending on people who exited your story long ago. But before you leave, ask yourself one final question. What could I do with all this energy if I stopped giving it to someone who's no longer here? The answer might just change your life. Are you ready to go further? Because in the next part, we begin rebuilding from within with stillness, clarity, and self command.